It was almost an historic upset in the World Cup today as DR Congo scored first against England in the 7th minute. These scenes coming from London. Brian Sipenga with the opening goal. But Harry Kane stepped up and scored twice to give England the win. England march on to the last 16 where they will take on Mexico. Kay Murray, Alejandro Moreno and Don Hutchison here with you. England with a comeback win in this game. It got hairy and scary at times for them, but Harry Kane to the rescue. Harry Kane saved the day. You say, where would they be without him? They would be on the flight home. But it really is a big question, isn't it, Ali? Where would they be without Harry Kane?
Well, let me first address the fact that it's impossible to watch an England game when Kay is in the same room because you can feel the tension. And Kay is usually bubbly. Yeah, she's happy. And if she's tense, then what is there? There's no room for me there. I cannot be the one that is having to provide the hope and the optimism. And yet, if you want hope and optimism for England, look no further than Harry Kane. Now, we've been talking a lot about France, and we've been talking about Lionel Messi, and we're talking about Mbappe, and Erling Haaland and Norway, and the big names for the big teams showing up. We actually spoke about Germany not having big enough names and not stepping up in the moments in which you needed them. Boy, did they need Harry Kane today, because at the moment in which he scores his first goal, it just didn't feel like England were about to score. It felt like, well, Mpassi is just going to save everything. And Congo is just going to get on the way of everything, and it's just not going to happen. And to that I'll say, as many saves as Mpassi made, the one that he didn't make on the first goal, he just kind of flaps at it. That's perhaps the easiest save that he could have made of all the ones that he made today. And I don't want to sell him short, but you also have to say, good Lord, that was the one that he needed to make. He did not. And from then on, it felt like England had momentum. It was hectic. It was nervous. It was disorganized. But eventually, when you need equality in the middle of all the chaos, when everybody's freaking out, you need somebody who sees a different picture and who has a different level of talent. And Harry Kane brought that with the second goal. What a finish that was. What a game for him. They needed him, and he was able to produce. It
did feel harsh to pick up Mpassi, didn't it, on that equalising goal for Harry Kane. But Ali made a good point.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you analyse the game. I think if you analyse with your head, you think England deserved to win the game. They beat Congo in all the metrics. But if you analyse it with your heart, you feel sorry for Congo because they put some effort in. They left their heart and soul on the pitch. They defended incredibly well. Fullbacks were amazing. The goalkeeper was outstanding. But Ali's right. The one that he had to save, which was the easiest one of the lot, I'm not sure if he tried to make it a little bit more difficult by making it spectacular, or he was tired, or a lack of concentration. It is a position where you make one mistake, it's costly. But like Ali, I think once England got their first goal in the game on 75, it felt inevitable they were going to win the game because there was too many good players on the pitch. There was so many attacking players on the pitch. And then that just derails you slightly. If you're Congo, you think, we've put so much effort in, we couldn't take it to 90 minutes. We look at the opposition and the quality that they've got. We're a little bit tired. Can we hang on for extra time? And you just watch it and you just think, if Kane gets one more chance, it's inevitable. And what a finish it was.
Yeah, and when you see the first goal, when DR Congo scored, then we knew this could be a big upset again. We've already seen some big European exits in the World Cup so far.
Well, they should have made it two.
They should have made it two as well. They should have made it two in the first half. Yeah, in the 42nd minute, you wonder how that one didn't go in. But even in that moment, that's when you wondered, like, who was at fault there for Sipenga's goal? Jordan Pickford was beaten at his near post. The defence, there was questions of them.
The positioning of the back line was all over the place. Jet Spence felt like he needed to be sucked in because center backs were out of position. And he felt like he needed to go and cover the inside space. And in doing that, he gives way too much time to Sipenga, who, hits it on target. But if you're Jordan Pickford, you cannot get beaten there. And in all honesty, it was a sloppy start from England. It was sloppy defending. It was poor goalkeeping. And you're thinking that there was going to be a reaction. And there really wasn't. Yeah, we talk about the effects of the hydration breaks in this tournament and how they can, in some way, affect a game or change a game. England needed a timeout. England needed a moment to just kind of like, let's breathe, because we're not even completing passes. We're hitting balls straight out of bounds. We saw that from Jude Bellingham. They needed just a second or two to just kind of, all right, settle down. We're losing. we're a better team. Let's complete some passes. Let's start creating some chances. Our momentum is going to take over, and eventually we're going to be good enough to win this. But they needed a timeout. They really did.
Tuchel likes the hydration breaks.
Well, apparently, he
does
should.
now.
He should, because, frankly, they were in need of that. They were looking at each other like, wait. This was not supposed to happen. This is not how it's supposed to go. And to their credit, the second part of that first half was better for England. But to Don's point, the biggest moment of this match up until the second goal by Harry Kane was the miss by Visa. Wisa's right there. It's a tap-in. It's my kind of range. It makes the game 2-0. And you think England was freaking out after 1-0. Imagine after 2-0. I just thought that moment in itself would have propelled Congo to, at the very least, know that, hey, we can really do this. We believe that we can do this. We know that we can do this. You miss that chance, and then you start thinking what might have been, what could have been, and particularly so when Kane scores his first goal, and then the momentum was all with England.
They're doing very well in this World Cup so far, and that was a massive moment for him.
It was a sitter, because the angle of the finish, he tried to go near post and a really small margin, he had to finish. If he has it back again, you just go left. All the goal was waiting for him to the left-hand side. Maybe he snatched at it, maybe he panicked in front of goal. That's why you're looking for a clean contact. You've got to back your ability, make good contact, but shift it on the left-hand side, because all the goal was there. And then the big talking point during the game was England's so-called penalty.
Right after that.
Right, just after. So it was a brilliant game to watch. It was like, as I said before, you really feel for Congo, because they couldn't have done any more, apart from obviously Wissa making it 2-0. But England will take a lot from that. And watching the game there, I was thinking, how does Thomas Tuchel not see that he doesn't need Elliot Anderson and Declan Rice as 2 sixes in midfield? They're both the same player. They've got all the possession in the world. And in the end, Jed Spence come off and Declan Rice went to right back, had involved in the goal. So he had opportunities and he had attacking players on, because he had to be desperate, Tuchel. So he'd done the right thing. But in terms of starting, I'm not so sure you play 2 sixes when you've got people like Morgan Rogers or Ollie Watkins sitting on the bench to try and, have more of an effect on the game.
I'll highlight 2 players from England that we haven't spoken about just yet. Jude Bellingham. I did mention before that he was hitting the ball straight out of bounds, as everybody was from England when they went down. But after that, soon thereafter, you see him making those runs from deep again. Yeah. And again and again. He gets his head on a couple, probably should have scored on a couple, but Mpasi came up with a couple of saves. But the goal eventually from Harry Kane comes from Jude Bellingham getting in behind. And what that does is it moves defenders around. They have to react to that move. They have to react to that run. And so then you got to go and chase it out there. And in chasing it out there, you can't be in 2 places at the same time. If you go and chase out there, that means that you're leaving a space in behind you. And that's exactly the space that then Harry Kane ends up hitting and ends up attacking. And that in itself, I think, is valuable for England. And then perhaps a player that people were not thinking about mentioning following this match, Nico O'Reilly. And I'll say that name for this very reason. There were moments in this game in which England were disorganized because they were desperate getting forward. And it felt like there was an opportunity for DR Congo to go on the counter, and they did a couple of times. And believe me, Nico O'Reilly, I did not know that you had this in your game, that kind of speed over distance, covering the ground. And I'm thinking, I've been criticizing England and Manchester City, both Thomas Tuchel and Pep Guardiola, for playing this guy at left back. But when you have that kind of recovery speed down the left-hand side, go on, son. You do you. I didn't know he had that in his game. Perhaps I haven't appreciated it nearly as much. But over distance, he was able to cover 40, 50 yards, recover possession, and we're back in the attack, keeping momentum for England. That was important.
I wonder if Kevin Egan's got that kind of speed, because he's been from the fan fest to his pub to the Irish exit. There he is. Kev, you made it back to the pub. You're going to have to be stocked up today, my friend.
I tell you what, Kay, the atmosphere here is phenomenal, right? I'm listening to Professor Don, Professor Ali, and I don't think these England fans care about tactics right now. I want to bring in Harry Kane, right? I want to talk to this man here. This is Rob from Watford. Rob, Harry Kane the best striker in the world or what?
I think 60 goals in Europe this season, and then in the World Cup he's just done it again. Right, it's Harry Kane. That's what you expect, that's what you want. He's done it, we're through to the next round.
Oh man, 2 goals in what, 11 minutes? This is Finn. Finn, that was some game to be at today for you. Do you realise how lucky you were to witness that today?
Yeah.
And what, are England going to win the World Cup now?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have to bring in Daniel. Daniel, DR Congo fan here.
Yeah.
What a performance, and I hate to sound like that now because you were so close. How proud are you of your nation?
I'm very proud of them. I mean, they started the game very well, scored in the 7th minute, but England was really strong, but I think they defended themselves pretty well. It's their first World Cup in 52 years. So I think making it to this round, making it this far is a big achievement, and I'm very proud of DRC. Allez, les léopards!
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Saurabh. I'm from Nepal, but I'm a big England fan. I just want to say, Big Harry saved us today.
Yeah.
But free my boy Moreno. We need some more control in that midfield. But let's go England. It's coming home, baby.
Maybe if we open it up to a 100-team World Cup, Nepal will be there one day.
I know, but I don't think we're ever getting there even at 100. I will say I'm living for England. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take it.
Oh, I tell you, Kay, I know you'd love to be here. I know Don Hutchison would be in his element here, and Ali Moreno too, because they're all piling through. As you can see here, the fans are just starting to, it's like the zombie apocalypse. They're all coming from Atlanta Stadium, and the game ends. Next thing you can see them all looking for their lager. It's hilarious, but it's a great atmosphere here, guys.
What are you saying about the England fans, Kev? What are you saying about the England fans, Kev, going looking for the beer?
Oh, I know. And they're going to, I tell you, like I said earlier, Blur, the Park Life came on moments ago. The DJ knows exactly what he's doing, but the DR Congo fans are in the midst of everything. And that's been the most beautiful aspect of this World Cup. Everyone's partying together, and long may that continue.
It's brilliant, isn't it, Kev? So, Kev, you've been at the Fun Fest today, right? Because I know you're hosting there for FIFA. Tell us what it was like there, what the mix of fans was like, what the atmosphere was like.
So, Kay, I knocked the next door neighbour's door. There's a 10-year-old who has a little scooter. And I said, listen, any chance at all I could borrow your scooter tomorrow? Because I'm bouncing for ESPN between the Irish Exit and the FIFA Fan Fest. So I'm this like 200-pound lad on a little scooter now, rallying through downtown Atlanta, just getting from the Fan Fest back to the Irish Exit. It's been loads of fun. But the Fan Fest is electric. And tonight, for the US men's national team, we're at capacity close to 20,000 people for what I believe is the biggest US men's national team game in history. It's a knockout game on a home World Cup, a chance to make it to the round of 16 to face Belgium or Senegal. It's now or never, and I think the Fan Fest is going to feel like that.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from you as well today, Kev. Thanks so much. Go and get that bar stocked because you are going to need it. Let's talk a little bit about the path of England, though. That's something that we've got to do. Just before we do that, we just heard from Kev there with one of the DR Congo fans. They have got to be so proud of the effort that they put in today, Ali.
And I could not have said it better myself. I think his name was Daniel, wasn't it? Yeah, they should be proud of themselves. But as a player, and I think Don can relate to this, as a player, while you're proud of the work, and you are, and you know that you've done something significant, and you know that you're getting the love and adulation of your country, in the moment, you're thinking about what might have been, what could have been, what could I have done better?
Because it was so close.
You're right there. You were touching it. It was there. You did the unimaginable. You scored against England and you pushed them to the very limit. And so then that as a player and as a competitor, you're thinking, we were there, man. We were there. And so I don't think the players are going to have the perspective that perhaps the fans have or that we may have from the outside looking in. They're going to be thinking about what might have been, what could have been. That's the nature of being a competitor, and it's going to haunt you for a while until you feel the love and you feel the adulation and the respect and the appreciation, and that may soften things up. But right now, they are devastated.
Penga, Wan-Bissaka, there were some great performances from their team.
Outstanding. And I'm definitely not going to shoehorn Scotland into this conversation. But, however, when you see... Well, sort of. When you look at the Congo fans there, it's like they appreciate the team had a real good go. And that's what you can latch onto as a fan. When you travel all that way to Atlanta and you watch your team and you're traveling around the US and you're watching all the games and you're paying your money, you want to be entertained and you want to watch your players play for the badge on the front, the name on the back, and you want to represent. And African football has come in such a long way in probably the last 20, 25 years. 9 out of the 10 made it through. Incredible. So the Congolese fans will enjoy themselves. They'll realise, like Ali, if you're going to overanalyse it and go, we could have done it if Wissad had scored. I think the fans will sharp park that and they'll go, do you know what? We had an absolute blast.
OK, we're going to take a look at England's path now. We all know what's next. Mexico, in Mexico, for the round of 16. And after what we saw today, Ali, they've got to step it up because this Mexico side haven't conceded. They're looking strong. They're looking like a unit, and they're at home.
Yeah, and they're feeling good about themselves. But I can guarantee you, although Javier Aguirre wouldn't say this publicly, he would have been far more excited if it were DR Congo coming to Mexico City and not England. Because while there are some challenges that England is going to face in terms of the altitude, the smog, the pollution, all of that we talk about when speaking about playing at Azteca, they have something that not many teams in this competition have, and that is quality. Quality of players, quality like Harry Kane, quality coming off the bench. They have a certain amount of depth to them, and they have resources that other teams that Mexico has played against in this World Cup do not have. And so when it comes to knockout competition, you bank on lean on the quality of players. That's why Harry Kane is Harry Kane. More pressure and more eyes on you, and you still are able to produce. That's what separates you. That's what elevates you. You want to talk about becoming legends of the game, doing things like Harry Kane did today. That kid that we just saw there, he'll never forget Harry Kane. Not ever in his life will he ever forget Harry Kane and this moment. And that's what Harry Kane did for England. That's what he can continue to do. And if it's not Harry Kane, it could be Jude Bellingham, or it could be Declan Rice, or it could be Bukayo Saka. You see where I'm going with this? Is that they have a depth of talent that other teams do not have. And Mexico, I don't think, have that. They have a lot going for them, but not quite what England does.
So let's talk personnel, because what does Tuchel need to get right in this game?
I'll tell you what he needs to do, and he's a smart man, Thomas Tuchel, and we keep talking about the Azteca and the altitude, and they're only going to have 3 days to prepare. That is going to be awfully taxing on the body. So he's got to look at his group of players, and off the back of Ali's point there, it might not be the starting 11 that impresses Thomas Tuchel, and he might have to drum it into his players. You guys need to run for 45 minutes, and then I'll change you. And if you can do another 15 and get to 75 minutes or 80 minutes, I've got changes, and then you've got quality. So the starting 11 is obviously important. I think, looking back, if you're going to try and attack Mexico, I think Jude Bellingham a little bit deeper, and then you've got Eza, and you've got Ollie Watkins or Morgan Rogers that can play 10. But I tell you what, watching Mexico last night against Ecuador, my word, the energy that they showed from the first minute of the game, they really impressed me. And they never let up. And the crowd and the noise watching it in here last night was off the charts.
Yeah, and to that point, and I think it's a valid one, is the start for Mexico yesterday was crazy good.
Yeah.
Explosive, dynamic. And you compare that to the start of England today, it wasn't explosive, it wasn't dynamic. So that has to be a whole lot better for England, because if they allow Mexico and that stadium and all of that you just mentioned to get going, to get flying, to feel confident, then it's going to be a long, long afternoon for England. I think England goes into this thinking that maybe this was the one that we needed to get out of the way in terms of a tough performance and a tough match, and now we feel like there's a new lease on life, and perhaps this opens up this team to then be a whole lot better from the start of the match and not be weighed down by the expectations that all the English fans have on this team.
What a game that will be on Sunday, and we will be covering all of it across our YouTube channels and across the network on ESPN. Tonight, we'll be looking back on what goes down in the US game and all the day's action